Ready to open the hood? UseTool for the tutorials.
And for car parts, the right idea is the Mr. Auto app. Easy, fast, and with better prices than on the website.
You will find the Mylar inner and outer tie rods used in the video through the link in the description. Turn your engine off and pull up the handbrake. Loosen the stud bolts on the front wheels. To be able to change the inner and outer tie rods on your vehicle, you must remove the wheels to gain complete access to the steering system. Lift the front of the vehicle. Place the vehicle on the axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, raising your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. Don't forget to slide the wheels under the vehicle. As the components to be removed are very often seized up, don't hesitate to brush and to use penetrating oil to facilitate the operation. With a marker, trace a line between the axle joint and the tie rod end. It will help later during the disassembly and reassembly process. Using a 21mm spanner, release the tie rod end lug nut on the inner tie rod side. Hold the tie rod end with a 21 spanner to prevent it from turning. Now, using a socket wrench and a 17mm socket, release the holding lug nut on the tie rod. If you don't have a ball joint puller, take a hammer and hit the lug nut hard just at the end of the threading. The ball joint should move away from the pivot. Only tap on the tie rod end pivot if you're changing the tie rod end, otherwise you risk damaging the threading. Paying close attention to the point of reference, unscrew the tie rod end, counting the number of turns necessary to extract the tie rod end. This will allow you to find an approximate setting when reassembling. For greater accuracy, use the mark drawn with a marker to return the lock nut to its initial position. Next, measure the distance between the lock nut and the end of the tie rod ball joint using a caliper. In any case, an alignment check will have to be carried out by a professional soon after having performed this operation. Remove the lock nut from the axle joint. With pliers, remove the external metallic clip on the protective sleeve of the tie rod axle joint. With a cutter, cut the external part of the sleeve so that you can remove it. With a flathead screwdriver, remove the internal metallic clip on the sleeve. Remove the sleeve. Using a tie rod iron or extractor, a specific tool for carrying out this job, you can now loosen everything without difficulty. To do this, insert the tool up to the fixed part of the tie rod, then, with a socket wrench and a long extender, force it in an anti-clockwise direction. If the tie rod axle joint is equipped with marks, release them using adjustable spanners.
All parts used in this tutorial are supplied by our trusted partners. These partners also help us create as many video tutorials as possible. Check them out in the description below.
You can find the Mylar parts and products used in the video through the link in the description. Take the new axle joint and unscrew the lock nut provided with it. Put the plastic stop in place. Put the tie rod axle joint back on the steering rack. Still using the same tool, or using an adjustable spanner, block the tie rod axle joint, but in a clockwise direction this time. Finish off the tightening with a torque wrench. Then remove the tool. take the new sleeve. Apply silicone grease to the parts of the sleeve that will be in contact with the tie rod ball joint. Install the collar supplied with the kit on the sleeve. Put the sleeve in place. You can turn the wheels so that the sleeve is easier to thread into its slot. You can now crimp the collar with a special tool or with pliers. Put the external clip back on and crimp it. Take the new tie rod end and unscrew the lock nut supplied with it. Put the tie rod end back in place until it touches the lock nut. Using a wire brush, scrub the pivot then apply silicone grease to the flat part that will be in contact with the tie rod bellows. Do not grease the inside of the cone. Replace the ball joint in the pivot. Assemble the lock nut supplied with the new part and tighten it using a socket wrench and a 17mm socket. Finish off the tightening with a torque wrench. Finalize the tightening of the lock nut using a 22mm spanner while holding the tie rod end using a 21mm spanner to avoid damaging the tie rod end. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. During this operation, you will work on the steering system of your vehicle. Checks on tyre alignment when carried out by a professional will guarantee that your steering system has been perfectly aligned and is in good working order. Put your vehicle back on the ground and fix the wheels in place properly. Operation completed.
Hi, it's Theo from UseTool. I hope this video has helped you a lot in your car maintenance. We would be super grateful if you could spread the word so that we can produce even more tutorials. Simply give us a like, a comment, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us boost the channel and help the whole community. Thanks a lot and have a great one.